Of course, they had to release the schedule on a Wednesday, late at night, whenever I can't record. Anyway, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Titans Rundown. I am your host, Micah McCamey, and in the last episode, we talked about Tyler Boyd and what that means for the Titans and how him being the slot receiver changes a lot to help us out and, help Will Levis out in general. We also talked about the safety market, which, spoiler alert, we're going to get into that today as well, but anyway. And we also talked about, as a minor thing, like Will Levis and how great he looked at the Kentucky Derby. Just like a joking thing, of course. But, there's a couple of things to get into today, and, obviously you probably clicked onto the video thinking about NPF, and trust me, we'll get to him, but we got to start out with a couple of other things, starting with the NFL schedule releases today. I'm very excited about this, if I'm being honest with you. I know how upset I am with how, it had to shake out to where it was while I was on vacation, combined with the fact that it was right before that it was on a recording day. That's horrible. That sucks. It does not help me at all. But don't get me wrong, I am still excited about the schedule releasing today. Now, what am I hoping for? My biggest wishes are we play people like the Jets and the Dolphins later in the season. For the Dolphins whenever it's colder, and for the Jets because they're probably going to be a little bit injured, judging by the team's injury-prone people, and combine that with the fact that they play on the turf. They're bound to have a couple of big injuries happen. So that's my first big wish. My second big wish is that we get an easy opponent week one, like the Patriots or the Commanders, someone like that, because it's going to be Brian Callahan's first game play calling. It's going to be Will Levis's first game as the solidified starter as a Titan. And it's going to be the first game of a new era. So I just want something a little easier, something that will play into the fact that this is Brian Callahan's first game play calling. And it's this Titans roster's first game with this coaching staff and all that stuff, So those are really the only two wishes that I, truly have, because the rest of it I think can just be controlled through other types of things. So the easiest games for me are again, the Commanders and the Patriots, to me at least, especially the Patriots game. This year is going to be a disaster for them. It's not like they're going to be awful, or it's not like they're going to be mediocre. They're just going to be playing out awful. They're going to show some flash, don't get me wrong, but they're definitely going to have some very bad moments this year. So also the toughest games on the schedule this year are probably the Lions, which, saying that the Lions is one of the toughest games on the schedule, no offense to Dan Campbell. All right, if you have been watching me, I love Dan Campbell. I am obsessed with Dan Campbell. He is one of the best head coaches in the NFL, and he really does not get enough respect for how incredible he truly is. But I will say this, that Lions roster still has some problems, and I actually am really happy that that's potentially our toughest game. Also, the Bengals, I'm really hoping that that's a primetime game, because that's a rivalry that's slowly starting to be built up, and I'm hoping that if we beat them this time, it'll be taken seriously as a genuinely good rivalry. So I'm hoping that we can do that. I also hope that we can get a couple of primetime games, just because those are just so fun, and the Bengals is the only chance that we have at a primetime home game. So take that with what you will. But anyway, overall excited for the schedule, and I'm excited to see what happens and how it shakes out. Hopefully it's not a complete disaster and we play all the teams that are really good early in the season, early, and we don't play all of the teams that are usually really good later in the season later. I'm hoping that it's, the reverse of that, but if we're being honest, it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle, so I just wanted to get that out there. Anyway, moving on. the safety situation. We still haven't fixed it. What are we supposed to do about the safety? Like, I get it. It's hard, like Justin Simmons, I'm assuming right now that he just wants to be unemployed and that he's waiting for like the perfect offer, like from like a Super Bowl contender or something like that. But Marcus May has mutual interest with us, as it's been reported at least. Again, beat writers and insiders can be completely wrong. Hey, that rhymed. But anyway, I know that those guys can be completely wrong, but like it just feels like Marcus May genuinely wants to be a Tennessee Titan. Like, it doesn't feel like it's one of those things that was just minorly reported and hasn't really come into fruition. Like, Marcus May should have been a Titan like a month ago, and we would finally have the safety situation figured out, and I can truly say these guys can truly be playoff contenders. But obviously now I can't really completely say that because of the fact that we still haven't signed safety. We also need an edge and a right tackle, but as y'all can tell by the thumbnail, I'm not as concerned about right tackle. But anyway, it's just ridiculous, honestly, that we haven't signed a safety. I'm not too sure if we should, who knows, maybe while I'm recording right now or while something else is happening, we'll sign a safety, or whenever this comes out, we may have already signed like Marcus May or Justin Simmons. So I'm hoping that happens. I'm praying that happens, but oh man, again, I just wanted to make that a quick mention because I already dived into that situation. Y'all can go check that out if y'all want to. In my last episode, which I will have up not as a card, but it'll be right at the end of the episode. Y'all be able to see it on the left side. No, it's the right side. This side. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, now we get on to the last subject. Yeah, this is the thumbnail, the main encore. I know how much y'all are going to hate me for saying this, but you know what? I'm just going to go for it. NPF is going to be a solid player next year. I know Titans fans are probably going to come at me like... Anyway, before you grab your pitchforks and your knives and all that type of stuff, please just hear me out, all right? I want to get my case out there. It's one of my hot takes, and it's one of the only hot takes that I've truly ever had. I try and stay mellow with this stuff, but this is something that I think could happen. So... let's talk about this. Is there a little bit of bias towards this? 100%. He's a Titan. He is a Titan I actually kind of like, and I really want to see him succeed. So, of course I'm going to make a case for my boy. So, obviously, I would not be a good NFL head coach because I'm fighting for my guys instead of fighting for the guys that are actually really good. So, I just want to get that out there. There's obviously going to be a little bit of bias towards this. But anyway... so his stats last year were not that great. I'm pretty sure it was 4 penalties, 3 sacks, and a 20 PFF grade. But here's the thing. He had bad O-line coaching. He started out the year suspended, and whenever he did play, he wasn't really playing his true position. He was playing on the left side of the O-line for goodness knows what reason. I think it's because we were trying to find any type of way to get Andre Dillard out of there. Any sort of way that Andre Dillard could not play left tackle, we were just trying to take full-on advantage of that. So, he wasn't at a fair advantage last year, and he had bad O-line coaching, which I know that's not, a huge deal to most people, but, it's still got to play a contributing factor, especially to a second-year player. But then whenever we look at his rookie season, he did have bad O-line coaching, but he started out the year fully healthy. He wasn't suspended for the first 5 games, and he had this stat line. I'll put it up on the screen right now. He had 937 snaps, 8 penalties, 5 sacks, and a 52.3 PFF grade. Now, I know those stats do not look that great. I get it. It's not the best stat line that you'll ever see. But you've got to think about this. Imagine if he would have not started out the year on a 4-game suspension. He would have started at right tackle, and we may have been able to see maybe he was able to take a next year leap, but he was obviously going to be at a disadvantage because he was probably out of shape because of the 4-game suspension. Like, to me at least, this is like something that is a lot more possible than people are giving it credit for. Like, I feel like that starting out the year on that and then not even playing on your side of the O-line was not a good start for him. And he's also got a lot of physical attributes. And he showed a lot of flashes that first year. Like, I remember there was that, 4-week stint where we were just like, oh, yeah, NPF, right tackle of the future. And he didn't end the year off as hot, but, again, whenever he shows those types of flashes rookie year, I feel like you got to give him another chance to potentially, be a great right tackle. Now, here's the thing. If Bill Callahan watches this guy in practice and he's just like, no, we are not having this guy play right tackle for us, we got to go sign a free agent, then who am I to judge? Bill Callahan knows a lot more about O-line than I ever will. So, I just wanted to put that out there. I think that NPF can be very good. And also, Bill Callahan. With Bill Callahan coaching him, he may be able to take that next step because of how good of an O-line coach Bill Callahan is. And if he ends up being good, then the O-line is probably going to be very, very good. Because we're going to have a decent right guard, no matter who it is, whether it is Dylan Radins or Daniel Brunskill. We obviously have a very good center. We invested in that. We have a very good left guard who is heading for a breakout, Peter Skronsky. And obviously the left side is going to be a little bit of a question because he's a rookie and he's probably, going to have some really bad moments as an offensive lineman. So, it's obviously not going to be the best O-line in the NFL because obviously Latham will be going through some growing pains. But, if NPF is good, it could be a genuine top 10 O-line. Imagine that turnaround. That would solidify, to me at least, Bill Callahan as potentially the greatest O-line coach of all time. And I know how ridiculous that sounds, but I just think that it is completely true. Anyway, that is the episode. I have Instagram, Twitter, and I have TikTok all under the Titans Rundown. And for the people listening over podcasting, I do have a YouTube channel. Now, I know that's not that different from the podcast, but trust me, I'm about to do something that will make it significantly different and that will make you want to, that will make you want to check out the YouTube channel. But anyway, that's going to do it all for me. This has been a rundown of your Tennessee Titans. I love y'all, and tighten up.